I'm already here. Amazing. Well, good morning, everyone. We hope you have had a great week here at Ignite, and we are honored that you chose to spend this final morning with us here talking about Security Copilot. Now, if you're trying to get to the Security Copilot in Defender session, that is also happening right now, just down the hallway, consider it fate that you're here. We look forward to indoctrinating you. My name is Paige Johnson, and I live and breathe Purview every single day, as do my colleagues Arun and Tanay. And so we are beyond thrilled to be sharing what the team has been cooking up for you these last few months. Now, you've probably heard this already a dozen times before this week. I recognize Friday. It's been a big week. So I'll give you the short version. Data is exploding. AI is exploding. And our risk surface, therefore, also exploding. Every new data set and model adds just another node into an ecosystem that's already pretty complex. Sensitive data isn't sitting nicely in one place anymore. It's in prompts, training sets, APIs, and occasionally places no one ever intended. AI brings huge upsides, but it's also rewriting the rules. What used to be a clear perimeter now feels more like a sprawl. So the real question, the one that we've been talking about all week, is how do we secure something that is changing this fast? The good news is that the same AI that's driving all this complexity is also showing up as a powerful defensive tool. You may have noticed we are truly powered by data here. You've seen a lot of stats this week, so I just have some more for you. 82% of organizations already have plans to use Gen AI for data security. No surprise there. Everyone is trying to get faster detection, better insights, and to be honest, aren't we all looking for a little less manual work? But many early attempts have run into familiar roadblockers. Data quality issues, governance gaps, models that don't play well with others. Even so, nearly 40% have pushed through and are already using AI agents in production for data security. We're still early, but adoption is real, momentum is strong, and those early lessons are really showing us what good is going to look like, including for us here at Microsoft. There we go. Now, what's also interesting is how Gen AI is being used. It's not for the flashy stuff. It's for the fundamentals. Finding sensitive data across sprawling environments, detecting critical risks faster than manual triage ever could, investigating incidents by connecting signals that would take humans hours or days to do on their own, and assessing overall data security posture with real context. Organizations are pointing AI directly at the hardest to scale problems of data security and letting it do the heavy lifting. Now, when we talk to customers, including our own Microsoft security teams, we heard the same themes over and over. Security teams are busy. They're drowning in data exposure alerts, and nearly 60% worry that some of those alerts could actually be indicators of an undiscovered breach. But the reality is, there's just too much noise. Over a third of alerts never get investigated, and the number one reason is simple: not enough people, not enough time. And it's expensive to keep up. Some teams are paying third-party vendors tens of thousands of dollars per month just for triage. Meanwhile, internal teams are spending an average of 21 minutes per alert. And at the volume that we're seeing, that means many alerts may never get touched. In almost every organization, protecting sensitive data relies on two roles, working hand in hand. The data security admin, who shapes posture before incidents occur, designing DLP and insider risk policies, driving classification, reducing oversharing, and managing exposure. And the data security analyst, who jumps in after threats surface, triaging alerts, investigating events, and coordinating remediation with SOC teams to close gaps quickly. Both roles are essential, but both are dealing with overwhelming volumes and limited bandwidth. And so everything we've heard from customers directly shaped the Copilot capabilities we've already delivered in Purview. In data security posture management, prompt books guide structured investigations, while open prompt investigations let you ask natural language questions and follow whatever trail you need. In DLP, Copilot's policy insights help you analyze existing policies, identify coverage gaps, and suggest targeted improvements, turning policy planning into something more like a conversation. And in insider risk and compliance, adoption is skyrocketing for things like natural language e-discovery search. Teams can simply ask, show me all communications related to Project Obsidian, and get actionable results in minutes, no KQL required. I heard at the booth this week a lot of folks using e-discovery, and it's definitely a favorite. So this is where we are today, a strong foundation that's already changing the way teams work. Next, let's take a look at where we're headed. Now, I know from also being at the booth that many of you have eyes like eagles and memories like elephants. And you may have noticed that I conveniently skipped over the alert triage agents in DLP and IRM on that last slide, which we announced earlier this year. But that wasn't an oversight. That was intentional. You told us we love these agents, but we don't need more Pokemon. We don't need to collect them all in our security stack. It's going to be too much too soon. And we heard you. So instead of shipping more agents, we focused on evolution over multiplication and started building connected end-to-end workflows. And now we're sharing the next phase with you. 2 consolidated agents that unify everything into one cohesive AI-powered experience. So this week, we were thrilled to announce 2 major additions to the Purview family to help support those 2 data security roles we talked about before. For the data security admin, we have the data security posture agent, available in preview shortly, which will continuously assess posture gaps, discover sensitive content, and drive policy hygiene at scale. And for the data security analyst, we've brought this data security triage agent, generally available this week, to help analysts quickly triage, prioritize, and remediate the most critical alerts. And for this GA, we've expanded coverage to include endpoint DLP and custom SIT alerts, bringing us to 90% coverage across all alert types. We're also adding new remediation capabilities to help manage data overexposure in documents. And I'll note that both of these agents will also support intra-agent ID. By combining posture management with intelligent alert triage, organizations can dramatically increase their coverage, speed, and effectiveness, even with limited staff. This dual agent approach helps teams scale operations, shrink manual workload, and stay ahead of emerging threats and compliance demands. It transforms reactive firefighting into proactive, continuous risk reduction. And of course, don't just take our word for it. Teams who've already adopted Security Copilot, including Microsoft's own internal security teams, are seeing real acceleration. Our DLP team has been using these capabilities months before they reach customers, pressure testing them, giving feedback, and pushing us to drive even greater efficiency. In fact, the new remediation you'll see today was born directly from that partnership. So if you're ready to see what turning up the speed really looks like, let's get into the demo. And with that, I will pass it off to Arun.
All right. Less theatrics, more content. Thanks, Paige, for those eye-opening stats. You know, with all these alerts and policies, sometimes I feel that my product is trying to, win a popularity contest. Except the only thing is, it's popular is, it's keeping me up at night. But don't worry. Today, we are going to see how all of this sentiment we can turn back into clarity. Hey everyone, I am Arun, a product manager in DLP, and that's the simplest form of introduction I can give, because if I explain more, it'll just get confusing as to what I actually do. So without going off on a tangent, let's get right into it. Imagine this. You are the CISO of Sava, part of a global enterprise known for its smart materials and premium athletic wear. Sava isn't just a manufacturer, it's a pioneer. And when it comes to data security, Sava has built what many would call a gold standard data security posture. Auto labeling with manual override, check. Continuous awareness campaigns, check. Every employee trained on labeling practices and responsible AI use, absolutely. On paper, Sava looks flawless, pretty good. Proactive, compliant, and resilient. But tell you what, there are gaps. And with all of that, even the CEO sometimes cites data security as a competitive advantage. Now meet Lauren, a data security admin, and Adi, a security analyst at Sava. Adi's day starts with a flood of alerts, hundreds of potential incidents. He knows all of them are important, but which ones aren't? Which ones could lead to a breach? Which ones are business as usual? Adi spends hours triaging, investigating, and escalating cases. By the time he closes one, 10 more appear. Do you think Adi is failing? I don't think so. The system is, because manual processes can't keep up with the speed of modern collaboration. All right, I think now the stage is set. And at this point in time, allow me to bring Tanay to see all of it in action and how what we have today solves it for Adi, Lauren, and Sava. Tanay, take it away.
Thank you, Arun. Hi, everyone. I'm Tanay Baldua, and I'm a product manager in Security Copilot. Before I dive into how we can help Lauren and Adi, I want to thank each one of you working in data security. For me personally, all you folks, admins, analysts, data security officers, are no less than physical security personnel like intelligence agencies. You strive to protect data, which, if not done, can lead to disastrous consequences. You make world a safer place. Thank you. Now, let's see. I know that data security is not easy. Through my role and interactions with customers, I have understood being an admin or analyst is a painful task, because even the most mature posture faces blind spots. The sheer scale of data, the velocity of alerts, and the complexity of collaboration can overwhelm even the best of the teams. So many alerts every day, sensitive data moving across apps and devices, human error creeping in despite extensive trainings. Compliance is necessary, but it's not sufficient. Security isn't static, it's dynamic, and so are the threats. Here in Sava, Adi sees the same thing. For example, let's start. One fine morning, Adi comes in and he sees this one alert and is intrigued. He had never seen such an alert before. Policy match identified tainted projects leak related to Project Nebula. Ooh, that's a patented athletic wear project. And the user DC grant. He wants to learn more. So when, out of curiosity, Adi just went to DLP and started sorting the columns on the DLP policy name. He was shocked to see it wasn't just one alert. He had more than 52 alerts from that policy in last 2 days. Moving further, he also observed close to 94 alerts coming from the DLP policy name, audit, print, and copy to USB. in the same 2-day period. This was way above the normal 10 to 12 alerts he would see every day till now. This raised further suspicion. Next, Adi visited the DSPM page and saw a recommendation. He had never seen this before. 64 activities related to intellectual data and patent information in last 7 days. Adi realizes this is going to be a long night. Now, to resolve all issues, Adi and Lauren must investigate, remediate the whole process to make the data safe. First, Adi needs to start triaging all the DLP alerts, 146 of them, understand what's happening, what's the data related to it, who is the user associated, and so on, 146 alerts. Next, he needs to work with the owners and authors of the document and the content related to remove that sensitive data. Again, manual processes of reaching them out, talking with them, getting this work done. Next, not only the data risk, he also needs to go and assess Daisy, the user in the context of the alert, Daisy's IRM risk profile inside a risk management, and also understand what's happening with her. Last, while Adi is working on the triage part and remediating it, Lauren, our admin, needs to go and find all the sensitive files related, see if the blast radius is much more than what Adi is seeing, and find the sensitive files, increase their protections. For user risk, she needs to deep dive into the user profile, map the activities, the sequence of the work that Lauren has been doing, and take appropriate actions. Lastly, she has to assess and fortify her data security posture, see if she needs to make any changes in her policies of labeling and DLP and whatnot to avoid such incidents happening in future. Too many do's and all are critical, and this is just one scenario. There may be multiple other alerts also boiling up while they are focusing on this one. And while they do just one activity of resolving this incident, it's a long enough window for any malicious actor to take an undue advantage. These situations lead to alert fatigue, more stress, low productivity, and definitely gray hairs. But no more. As Paige introduced to you, we bring to you the power of AI in Microsoft Purview, wherein we assist Adi and Paige to achieve all the impossible with high efficiency and focus. We bring to you the triage agent in data loss prevention and insider risk management, and the data security posture agent in DSPM. Before I step into how these capabilities help Adi and Lauren, let me show you how easy it is to quickly set them up. It's pretty straightforward. You click on the agent that you're interested in. You can deploy any agent with 2 simple clicks. The first click shows the details of the agent, what it does, which roles does it need, what are its triggers, and everything is displayed. Next, admins can customize certain triggers, agent identity, and other configurations depending on their needs. Here, you can determine the alert time frame that you want to go in the past for the agent to triage the alerts, if you want reminders of remediation, and the identity. Simple, 2-step, next, click Start Agent, and boom, the agent is deployed. For every agent, we have made sure we are allocating it only the minimal roles and permissions required. Additionally, an admin can pause and deactivate the agent at any time, thereby giving you full control. Let's go back. Coming to the Sava situation, you remember 146 DLP alerts? Too much. And then you have the DSPM activities, insider risk alerts. These are all the tasks for our admins and analysts out there. But here comes the power of agents. Even before Adi went in the next day and saw all the alerts in his standard view, our DLP triage agent has already kicked in. It has analyzed the alerts, analyzed the content related to the alerts, and started categorizing them as needs attention or less urgent. This categorization is done through our AI models, wherein the category is primarily derived from the context of the data. Generative AI semantically understands the content and reasons over them based on natural language intent or policy definition, thereby providing a capability that starts to mirror human reasoning, but at machine speed. Here, the agent has highlighted that out of 146, Adi, you have 5 alerts that needs attention. The other alerts are not lost. They are all there in the less urgent bucket, also triaged, but Adi can take a view at them at a later stage. Adi's workload is reduced by 90% in the first step itself. Next, Adi can then visit the alerts in the needs attention to start the process of resolving them. The agent analyzes the intent and the content, and based on organization's chosen parameters, categorizes alerts based on the sensitive data it has. Additionally, it provides a comprehensive summary of what has happened in the alert. The 3 risks, sensitivity risk, exfiltration risk, and policy risk, help Adi understand the 3 questions he has. What is happening? What is the protection for it? And what data is in question? The agent also learns from the feedback. Today, you don't like the categorization that the agent has done? No worries. Make him learn, make it learn, give the feedback right there, so that in future, based on your feedback, the agent categorizes the alerts as the way you want. Additionally, you can also input custom instructions for the agent. Say you want to focus on an alert of a certain type, tell it to agent, agent learns and grows. Lastly, it's also clear from the summary itself that there are 3 sensitive files related to the tender project, Project Nebula. Remember, guys? And they have been exfiltrated. They contain the patented data and other proprietary design documents. The policy doesn't have a block rule, so exfiltration has gone through. There has been a data leak. Not only the agent has looked into the alert and the related activities, it has also vetted the documents and items related to the alert. It uses LLM to summarize the content of the documents and see if there has been any label change done on the file or any activity has been performed. Adi doesn't need to verify these details manually anymore. It's all right there. He sees it's a true positive alert. That's why it is important. That's why the agent has categorized it as needs attention. The agent also shows a remediation status column for the files related to the alert. Look out for it, for the power of it as we go through the next slides. Currently, the files are not remediated. So while Adi is investigating the risk and working with his team to take the next steps, the agent kicks off the next part, which is the remediation. You remember, we had selected the reminders for remediation. This is that part. It helps the remediation part start sending out messages to the owners and authors of the document in teams and highlights which document they need to focus on and what sensitive information they need to either remove, mask, or apply a good label to protect it. The reminders are sent only once per day so that we are not intruding the end users in their daily work. Previously, this document cleanup was a major concern. It was a manual exercise. Now, the agent handles it automatically in a simple manner. As an end user, the user can go, remove the information, and boom, the status is updated for the end user. Not just the end user. Even now, when Adi, while he's working and still seeing the alerts, he will see the remediation status updated. One document remediated, just like that. He has all the visibility and control, but now gets more time and energy to focus on the other parts. Adi can always track all the remediation activities performed on the sensitive data, making their jobs easier and helping him achieve more. In DSPM, he can go and view the status, the trend of how many files need remediation and how many the agent has already remediated. Right here, within a week, 45% of remediation done. Adi's workload reduced. Pretty powerful, right? So, in just quick steps, even before Adi has started doing anything, the alerts are triaged, sensitive data has been removed by the owners with the use of agent. Next, the agent does not only work in DLP, it also works in IRM in the same manner. Adi can visit the IRM alerts page. The agent has performed the similar categorization, but based on different risk parameters. I'll come to that. Here also Adi sees, out of all the alerts, around 70 or 60 alerts that he has, 4 needs attention. And there is that first alert, potential data theft by Daisy Grant. So Adi can click on that alert, and within the agent view, the agent provides a Gen AI-based summary of the user risk, the activities performed, and highlight what was not normal compared to historical records. It also determines the user risk right there, user, high impact, high risk user. Lastly, for summarization, it takes into account all the activities and provides 3 risk summaries: the user risk, the activity risk, and the file risk, thereby arriving at the categorization it has. Quickly here, in the agent summary, he sees Daisy Grant has been flagged as a disgruntled employee. She has made multiple exfiltration attempts in the last 2 days, none of which has been observed earlier. She is a user to keep an eye out for. And like that, within 15 minutes of his start at the day, he has got enough summary of the DLP risk, the IRM risk. The agent has worked for removing the exposed data, and Adi's workload is reduced. But not just Adi, let's have Lauren too, right? So introducing the posture agent in DSPM, the new genius in the town. The agent is all about helping admins improve their posture by providing insights, showing powerful recommendations, Gen AI-generated summaries, and LLM-assisted job completions. It's a fresh college grad, and it is learning with time. So currently, we bring to you the first capability it does. It can help you discover sensitive data in your tenant scope based on a simple, natural language-based intent. That's it. Starting first, very simple steps. Starting first, Lauren, she knows Project Nebula. Adi has informed her. She needs to start working on her posture. She can go select the data sources. See, out of all the lists, we show all the list of SharePoints and user mailboxes right out there. Depending on her need and identification, she selects some policies here, some sites. Here she selects 4 SharePoint sites, R&D, project, and tainted projects. One where she thinks that she needs to check the data posture. Once selected, she provides a simple natural intent. What she thinks is what she writes there. Here, find me the files containing sensitive data, project roadmap details of Project Nebula. Nothing more, no keyword-based search, no filter-based search, nothing. And hit run. Boom. The agent starts running. It starts processing the content and tries matching the intent to the content from the scoped SharePoint sites that Lauren provided. On the left-hand side, you'll always see all the historical searches as well as the progress of it and how it's going. Next, it shows the results of what matched as soon as the run is completed. Like for example here, the roadmap file, the Nebula technical specifications, and so on. Not just that, it also pulls in the labels identified or applied to these files currently. This is a great starting point to investigate and identify if any files are exfiltrated, or because they are not protected sufficiently. It also shows some important key data like the file path, last modified date, who modified it, so that she can take insights and work on her posture management. If she feels some of the labels are not appropriately identified, right there, she can go select the file, select the label, and change it. No need to go to the owners of the document or the SharePoint owners and say, please change this labeling. Done right there. Thank you. One more interesting thing that this agent provides is, yes, the ability to generate reports and insights so that whatever the data is there, an agent-based summary of what matched, what was the critical sensitive information present in the files, she can take all those inputs and start changing her auto-labeling or DLP policies, thereby improving her posture. All protection improved. So Lauren has also worked on the sensitive files and increased protections with the help of the agent. No more manual scavenging for the data. Next, data risk done. Let's talk about the user risk from Daisy. In DSPM, we also have the prompt books. These prompt books help you identify user risk and data risk through simple inbuilt prompts by simply providing a couple of inputs. For user risk, Lauren can always go to the risky user investigation, identify and put in Daisy Grant's name, the duration of what period they want to investigate, here 7 days, and click Submit. The prompt books start learning within DSPM itself in the Copilot flyout. It shows you what risky activities were performed by the user, what potential exfiltration done. It also determined what content was acted upon and what were the classifiers involved. All this built in and covering all possible user risk assessment parameters. Lauren can now assess Daisy's profile with much deeper and broader context, and here on take on the next steps, like maybe create a case in IRM or tweak the DLP or IRM policies in adaptive protection to block such activities happening in future. Again, the user is mitigated. But the fun doesn't stop here. Let me call back Arun to walk you through another Copilot skill that further empower the admins like Lauren. Over to you, Arun.
Thanks, Tanay, for walking us through how the posture agent proactively surfaces risk and how the alert triage agent cuts through noise to highlight what's important. Now let's take a step back and think about the bigger picture. We have seen how agents can help us manage the flood of alerts and maintain a strong security posture. But as an admin, Lauren's biggest challenge is understanding the actual impact of Java's DLP policies. This is where policy insights come in. Instead of piecing together information from multiple places or relying on manual checks, policy insights gives us a single unified view. It answers questions like, are policies blocking or just auditing? How do these policies overlap or leave gaps in the environment? Now, Lauren wants to drill into a single policy. What she does is she selects the same policy that was part of the violation, the identified tainted project leak, and immediately sees its scope, enforcement mode, detection criteria, and notifications for both admins and users. And interestingly, Lauren can pivot the same summary by location, by administrative units, and classification of data. This is policy comprehension in a single stop. Lauren now knows what Java intended with this policy, how it's behaving, and what the impact is. But this is for a single policy. What if Lauren had to compare this with another policy? Yeah, so Lauren decides to compare the identified tainted project leak with another policy on the same workload, which is Exchange. She chose to compare it with the default email policy to see where's the overlap, where's the gap, and what she can bring to the tainted project leak policy to avoid such a situation next time. She goes through the highlights of the policies, spanning across admin units and locations, what is being detected, how it is being detected, and how are the users and admins notified. Lauren knows that Java's security posture is strengthened through a layered approach combining administrative oversight and user engagement. The identified tainted project leak policy enforces governance by alerting admins on high-risk actions, while the default email policy promotes accountability by notifying users and restricting access to sensitive content. Now, Lauren thinks that there is value in default email policy that she can bring back to identify tainted policy leak. The value of incorporating user notifications into the tainted project policy adds transparency and reinforces responsible behavior alongside admin alerts. She can go ahead and update the policy. But we all know these changes need business approvals. So Lauren exports this comparison report as a document adds her own inference and uses this to get final approvals on this policy change, showing contrasts and benefits. With this, admins like Lauren can share findings with their team, leadership, or auditors, complete with highlights of overlaps, gaps, and recommendation. It is instant documentation, ready for review or compliance reporting. Now, what if Lauren wants to get an executive report for all the active policies? You know what? Lauren can select all the policies and click on generating an executive report. This report, thus generated, covers an executive summary, alerts and resolution metrics by severity and status, and risk insights. Lauren is delighted that high-risk alerts have decreased by 93%, and there is an improvement in alert resolution times as compared to previous week. She can now paint a week-over-week posture report. Further, as part of risk insights, she sees top policies having violations, top sources contributing to these violations, and even repeat offenders over the past week. The report is actionable and designed for leadership. Lauren can now hand over a packet that tells a story, where Sava stands, what's working, and what needs attention, period. This helps Lauren to reassess and fortify the posture even further. And finally, I have an ask on all of you. Policy Insights includes a built-in feedback interface. So please do share what's helpful, what's noisy, and what you'd like to see next, all without leaving the page. Your feedback goes straight to the product team, shaping future improvements and ensuring the tool evolves with your needs. Okay, I think we should take a pause here and see how did we take all the steps. So you see, Sava moved from signal to outcome through 6 deliberate steps. First, we triaged the DLP alerts to cut through the noise and focus on what mattered. Then we removed exposed project details that posed immediate risk. Next, we assessed Daisy's IRM risk profile, giving us clarity on her permissions and risks. From there, we found sensitive files and hardened protections, ensuring critical data stayed secure. We didn't stop there. We mitigated Daisy's user risk, reducing chances of accidental leaks. Finally, we reassessed and fortified Sava's overall data security posture. But you might be thinking, so what? The business impact. If we take a pause and look at what just happened, before Purview agents, Sava's admins were drowning in alerts, hundreds of them across DLP, insider risk, and DSPM. Every alert meant manual triage, chasing document owners, and hours of investigation. We saw with Purview agents and Security Copilot, alerts are prioritized intelligently, and sensitive data are guarded. What used to take hours at Sava now takes minutes. This isn't just faster, it's smarter. Think about the ripple effect. Fewer missed alerts, faster remediation, and a security posture that scales without adding headcount. That's the real business impact. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. That was my time. And now I call upon Paige to take us all home.
Thank you. Ooh. Jumped too far. I can't miss the biggest news of town. So to wrap us up, there's been an absolute bombardment of announcements this week, but arguably my favorite, not even arguably, let's be real, objectively my favorite, and I'm biased, is that we are now making all of these Security Copilot capabilities easily accessible, and by including it with all Microsoft 365 E5 licenses. Rollout started this week if you're an existing Security Copilot customer with E5, and it will continue over the upcoming months for all E5 customers. And with that, I just want to thank you again for joining us here at Ignite this week. The Purview team is all done after this, so we'll be hanging around for a few minutes if anyone has any questions. And again, I hope you had a fantastic week and hope you all have a safe trip home. Thank you.